This is a quick tutorial on how to run the Profx projector. It's not incredibly fancy, but I want to do this for those people that really have no idea how to run a video projector. Well, I'm going to start with the first section here. I'm going to show you how to do it by simply pushing the buttons on top of the projector. So the first step is you hit the power button, which is right by the red light once you plug the cord in. You push it, hold it for a few seconds, let go. Give it a second. You'll see the light turns green. It's turning on, projecting on the wall. The first screen that comes up is what I call the main menu screen. You have your choice of 4 different kinds of media to play. Now, using the button on the top, it's a 4-way toggle selector with a center button on it. So it's 5 buttons in one. So I'll just show you what they are. We've got photo, so you could show photographs from a USB drive. We've got movie. We've got text. We've got music. They have those choices just so that you're telling the projector what it's going to do. Future models, future projectors, it might be automatic. It might know what you're doing. But in this case, you have to tell it. All right, so when you get your projector and you turn it on, it always goes to photo. But if you've just taken it out of the box, then you actually have to set the input choice. So you're probably buying this because you want to use the USB thumb drive. When you've taken your projector out of the box, you actually have to select the input source. So what do I mean by that? Well, you can plug in the USB thumb drive. That's what we want. But you can also plug video into this from a couple of different sources. The old DVD player, or from a Blu-ray player, or you can go in from, well, let's just look at them. So you have to choose your sources. Let's see what they are. You hit the S button, and then we've got, using the arrow keys, we can scroll through these. And so what we have is we have AV at the top, VGA, HDMI, USB, and SD. So what are all these? AV would be from like a DVD player, and there's an input cable for that. VGA is the computer hookup for your typical PC into the common VGA cable. And by the way, if you don't make your selection quick enough, it will return to the main screen, which is what just happened. HDMI from a Blu-ray player. USB, that's our thumb drive that came with the kit, or perhaps you bought an additional one. SD, that's standard digital. So what we want is the USB drive. So we click the USB drive, and it will switch back to our main menu. There we go. If you notice on the screen, the USB 2.0, it's the type we're using, that's lit up. So how do we play the videos? We're going to first use the virtual Black Santa USB drive as an example to show you how you get it going. Now, important thing to note is that only the rear of the 2 USB slots are connected. I don't know why that is. The factory did it that way. They put an extra one on the front. If you plug it into the front one, we've never been able to make it work. So you use the rear one. You can see the USB drive symbol is lit up blue. So here's how, using the projector, not using the remote control, you can get video to play. We go to our 5-way button with the arrows. We scroll down to click movie. Try to push the center of the button. It's a small button. And we hit OK. And in this case, it jumped all the way to the choices of the files. That typically is not what happens, but it's because my hands are big and the projector is fairly small. The button is teeny compared to my finger. Restart. We move it down from photo to movie. We hit OK, and we see there's a symbol that's a barrel that's supposed to represent the thumb drive, and it says Santa. So then we carefully push the center of the button. So on this screen, this shows you the different video files. And again, using the projector, You simply keep pushing the buttons. You can go up, down, sideways, and you get the different scenes. In this case, we're playing one scene at a time. That's how this entire concept of digital window decoration was created, video projected decoration. The point is not to play all of them because that doesn't make sense. You can if you want, but it won't make sense. So we're going to pick the first one here, Larry 5. With the projector, because it's small, it is a little tricky to use the controls on the top of the projector, but with practice, you can get good at it. You can always break down and use the remote if you want. I never do, now that I know how to do this. We quickly push down the OK button fast. Notice a check mark appeared on the right side, lower right side of the video clip, Larry 5. To play that clip, we center our finger right over the OK button in the center of this little button and hold it down slowly. It says loading. Boom. There it is. Playing back. So in this case, he's coming out of the chimney. Now I have the sound off. So here's how you change the volume. It's actually the arrow button. So there's left and right on the same button we keep using. So you just keep pushing the button or holding it. Takes a while. You'll hear the sound.
Great present for Tommy.
You hear the sound fading in. It's very slow. Using the remote is a little quicker.
Oh, wonderful little.
You see how long I'm holding it? Again, it's how the projector that was used in this kit was designed. There we go, up to 95%, 94%.
Well, a great present for the grandparents.
I turned the sound off so that you can hear me as I'm talking. So we're going to show you what do you do if you want to change the clip. To the right of the big button with the arrows and the OK is a return arrow. Watch what happens. We push that. That brings us back to our main screen. We are going to unselect the clip Larry 5 and play another one. Now see what happened? Just warning you. It's a small button and it's a small projector. So if you had a much more expensive unit, the button would be bigger, easier to deal with. I pushed it, but it went the wrong way. So I move it back, center my finger, push it quickly. There we go. I got it. So I deselected that clip. Let's look at another one. Larry 14. Now I'm just going to play this. I don't need to select it to play it. I did not select the clip by tick marking it. I should explain one thing. Let me do it. When you put the X mark, the check mark in the clip, that is the only clip that will play. That's how they loop. You select that. Now clip 14 is the only one that's going to play. If it is not selected, and I have hovered over and highlighted clip 14 and I hit play, which is holding down the OK button slowly for a few seconds, it will play 14 and then over to scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4, scene 6, and so on. It will play them in that order, go back to the beginning, which is scene 5, Larry 5, and continue. So why are these not in order? It is simply how this USB drive displays the files. It does not display them necessarily in order. Pretty much figure out what's the clip you like, write the name down, and remember it. Now this is one of the most important bits of information to give you so you don't think we made a mistake. You'll notice that Santa is tilted sideways. And you're wondering, why would that ever be done? Well, the reason is very simple. It is for tall, thin windows. Many windows are about 2 times taller than they are wide. That is the same shape as the widescreen TV turned on its side. So we were asked more than a decade ago by customers to start making some clips like this. So we've repeated a couple of the clips, not all of them, but some of them, sideways like this. And what you do with that is your projector is actually turned like this. And then if you notice that by being tall and thin like this, it more completely fills a tall, thin window. Whereas if you have it this way, your only option is to keep backing the projector up. So imagine there's Santa standing there. You see him in the center of the picture. Well, if you were putting this image into a tall, thin window and you back this up until Santa filled the window, you wouldn't see anything else. And you would be using 1/4 of the light to 1/3 of the light, the total light coming out of this projector, for that tall, thin window. So by turning it, that's how we maximize more of the light from the projector. So if you get to a vertical clip, that's what we call them, they're turned sideways. No, it is not a mistake. It is done on purpose. This is meant for vertical windows, and that's the reason it's done. To do it, you have to mount your projector onto a video camera tripod, preferably, that has a sideways swivel, and you can flip it. It's an easy way to do it. You can rig up some kind of a mount to hold the projector. These actually will sit on a coffee table like this if you're careful. I don't recommend it, but you can. That is how to run the projector using the buttons on the top. We're now going to get a remote control so you can see how to do it that way too. All right, last comment on the menu screen. Most of our products contain more clips than display on one screen. So watch what happens as we arrow down here. As you get to the bottom, you move it to the far right screen. You click one more time, and that brings up the second page. Each one of these pages holds 12 clips, so if we had 36 clips, there would be a third page. So I'm going to hold the remote here at a bit of an angle, and I'm going to show you which buttons I pushed and then actually do it. If you remember the arrow key on the front of the projector, there's an arrow key here, there's an OK button. They're all separate buttons, which makes this easier to use. But the first thing to tell you before you start, fresh batteries, not used batteries. Put brand new ones in here for your first time, or else you might have some difficulty. This is an inexpensive projector. Therefore, the range of the remote is not very high. The sensor is right on the back, but you want to make sure you're not too far from it or you could have difficulty. So we're using the OK button there. There's the arrow keys, again, just like from before. And the play button is upper left-hand corner. Mainly we're going to be using the arrow keys, OK, and the play button. Assuming you set your source up already like I said here, you're set. If not, here's the source button there. And so we point that at the projector. You see it's selected USB. Again, we can use our arrows. We're going up and down here using these keys to select our choice of input. We're using a USB drive. We press OK. All right. So now we arrow down to choose movie, and we're going to press the OK button. I pressed OK. There's the Santa USB drive. We hit OK, and there's our scenes. Again, we're using the arrow buttons. So I can press arrow down, and there I've selected one. Move it over, move it up. All right, so we're on Santa Scene 1. We hit the OK button to select just Santa Scene 1. Now watch what happens. I hit the OK, it's selected. If I hit the OK again, it is now not selected any longer. We select it, and now we use the play button. So the play button here, whereas using the projector itself, you use the OK button. We don't use the OK button here because that will deselect the clip. Now watch what happens. We hit play. It's loading. And now the scene will start. If we want to exit this clip, let's look at another one. It's the exit button, which is in the lower right-hand corner. Exit. Boom. There we are. There's our scenes. We don't want to play that one with a black background. We want to play another one that's got some room to it. Using our OK button, pointing at the back of the projector, we deselect that clip. All right, let's see what does scene 14 look like, you're thinking? So you arrow over one, push OK. We've selected clip 14. Now the play button on the remote, loading, playing. This is one in Santa's toy shop. Santa Larry's there in the center, and there's all these elves working in the background. I should mention this was an extremely complicated scene to make. Lots and lots of elves. Many, many layers. That is in essence how you use the projector. You can turn it off when it's playing, it doesn't matter. Just don't unplug the power. You want it to cool down. So when you are done with your display, you hit the off button. Takes about 30 seconds, and then it shuts off. Right, one quick recap. We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to turn the projector on. We're going to use the remote. We're going to get a clip playing. Here we go. Hold the power button down. In about 15 seconds, it turns on. Focus, by the way, is the front right here. So you simply focus it by rolling this front tumbler. And then as far as this other control, it's called keystone. You see the picture's flipping? That's when you're projecting down a little bit, you adjust it like this. When you're projecting up a little bit, you adjust it like that in order to try to make the picture as rectangular as possible. So there we go. So then we hit arrow down, select movie, select the USB drive, which it's already highlighted. We're going to go over, we'll play scene 1. We use the right arrow key. We use the OK button. We use the play button. There we go. And then the volume control on the remote. I didn't talk about that. Let's turn the sound on. Volume is in the left-hand corner here. So we're going to go up again. You got to point it at the back of the projector. And it's slow. It's a little quicker with this way, but it's just slow. It's how they built the volume setting. Here comes the sound. And turn it down. That should help you get going and use the projector. Each time you turn the projector on, you go through these steps. It's not automatically plug it in, turn the power on, it starts playing. I have yet to see a projector that does that. If you have trouble, talk to your kids, grandkids, young folks you know. This is a pretty simple projector. It's a lot easier to use than your cell phone. I can guarantee that. Thank you, and have a good holiday.